So I welcome you all into this carving session in which we are going to discuss about maxillary second premolar. So we will first start by demarcating the crown portion from the root portion. See, the maxillary second premolar is very much similar to the first maxillary premolar. The only difference is that the overall occlusal aspect here in the second premolar is more of a rounded form, and it's an oval outline. COCs and everything almost remains the same. Whatever difference there will be, we will let you know in this video tutorial. So we are first removing the wax grossly from mesial and distal aspect, and now we are creating the mesial and the distal slopes. We can also say that we are preparing the occlusomesial, mesio-occlusal and the disto-occlusal aspects. Post that we are creating the buccal and the lingual COCs by removing the wax accordingly. As you can see, we have made the buccal COC on the junction of the middle and the cervical third, and the lingual one almost in the middle. Now we are rounding off the sharp line angles. You must remember that in the maxillary second premolar, the buccal ridge is not that much appreciable as it was in the maxillary first premolar. We are giving the occlusal view oval appearance by first tapering the entire occlusal surface lingually and then rounding off the sharp line angles. Notice here that we do not have to prepare the lingual and the buccal aspects in such a way that we did in the maxillary first premolar. There we made the lingual aspect shorter, but here the buccal and the lingual aspects are almost at the same height, as you can see from the mesial aspect. Now we are creating the occlusal surface by first carving out the buccal cusp along with the cusp slopes. You must also notice how we are dividing the occlusal surface for the buccal and the lingual cusps. Here the ratio is almost 60-40. That is 60% occlusal area is occupied by the buccal cusp and the 40% is occupied by the lingual cusp. And also we are leaving the area for triangular fossas on the mesial and the distal side, as you can appreciate. Now we are marking off the area for preparing the root. As discussed in the rest of the videos, to prepare the root, we first try to create a pole of wax below the crown, following the contours of the crown. After creating that pole of wax, we will round off the line angles so as to give it a more natural appearance. Notice how uniformly the strokes are being made, how the line angles are being smoothened. Also notice how we are converging the root apically. So near the apex of the root, we are converging it towards the midline. Now we are creating a bit of the concavity which appears at the intersection of the crown and the root. As mentioned previously, the crest of curvatures of the mesial and the distal aspects remain the same as they were in the maxillary first premolar. But here, also do remember that on the mesial aspect, we do not see any such developmental groove which we used to see in the maxillary first premolar. Right now, we are creating the cervical line which demarcates the anatomical crown and anatomical root. Post that, we are rounding off the line angles. Also do remember that in the maxillary second premolar, the developmental groove on the distal aspect is more prominent in comparison to the mesial aspect, which is in contrast to the maxillary first premolar. Now we are finishing grossly. You can make use of a linen cloth for this thing, and after constantly accentuating the cervical line and again finishing it, you will end up getting a very nice feel of the cervical line, which doesn't appear to be carved out, rather appears natural. So this is how we create a developmental depression on the root, as you can appreciate. Just remember that the depression on the distal aspect is more accentuated or more pronounced in comparison to the mesial aspect. And don't forget to create or to remove a bit of a wax below the cervical line so that the crown gets a bit more of an accentuation in comparison to the root. So by constantly demarcating the developmental depression and again blunting it with the help of carver, what we try to achieve is a very natural look, because if we'll just make a concavity there for the depression with the help of a carver, that would look artificial and natural contours of the tooth won't be appreciated. So what we do is we demarcate, or we create a concavity for the depression with the help of a carver, then we again blunt it, then we again create it, again blunt it, till the time we get a natural looking bluntness or natural looking depression in that area. As you can very well appreciate the oval outline of the occlusal aspect, that is how the buccal appears, and the rest of the surfaces that can be very well appreciated in this large wax carving. Notice the developmental depressions on the mesial and the distal aspect, the distal one being more pronounced in comparison to the mesial one. And thank you.